So I hope by now some of you longtime viewers know that by trade, what I do for a living is video editing. Video editing requires some pretty beefy computer hardware, and it's what I like to do. It's my job, and it's frankly how I put food on the table. I think a lot of you sort of realize that I'm not exactly, I guess you could say, a full-time YouTube requirement over here. I don't really do YouTube for a living. If I did it for a living, I'd have lost my shit 2 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. But when the whole bubble broke, by the way. But when I was so basically, when it comes to YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, you all know that I basically record these videos, three days out of the week, 3 days out of the month, sorry, and I upload them all for the month, and I do the next month, rinse and repeat. There are some videos like this one, deep web browsing, where I do, a couple days before doing it. It's not that big of a deal. You record, you edit, and it's sort of a same day type process deal, right? 2 days at the most. But, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I do this kind of stuff this way is because it frankly saves on time, I can do my job, and I can live stream and do all that kind of good stuff. Now, my job requires me to have some pretty beefy computers. One of the things that we've been doing behind the scenes at the office is sort of building a, I guess you could say, a crusher type computer. I guess you could say a render farm. For those of you who don't know, video editing takes a lot of processing power. It's a lot of transcoding, a lot of video rendering, a lot of deliverables to be sending out to your clients, right? For example, for us, we got to send out we got to send out our deliverables, which is basically the final format for our video edits, to our clients in many different ways. Okay, sometimes our clients are, producers. It can also be other, directors, things like that, who want a different platform, different render for everything. So sometimes it could be like 4 or 5 different formats for a deliverable, and we'll need to have the processing power to do that, right? To render it out in HD, full HD, Ultra HD, all that kind of good stuff for many different clienteles in many different parts of the world, right? NTSC, PAL, all that good stuff. DVB, whatever. But, ladies and gentlemen, to do that, you need a good computer, you need good computers to do it. So the system that we were building, the Crusher, is put on hold entirely, indefinitely, for a little bit of time. And I'm going to sort of take you into a behind-the-scenes look at what's been fucking making me lose my mind for the last 2 weeks. For those of you who don't know, bitcoins are a big thing. Cryptocurrency mining, all that good stuff. Cryptocurrency mining is all the rage because cryptocurrencies have seen a massive rise as of not too long ago. Now, since then, since Bitcoin was $20,000 per coin, it has officially dropped down to, if I can look at right now, BTC to USD, just the actual conversion rate, it is about 9,000 US. It has actually dropped to the point where it was sub 8,000, I think, yesterday. It sort of rises and falls. It's very out of nowhere. Now, as somebody who had a little bit of money and some money invested into cryptocurrencies for a long time, I know that this is a pretty normal type thing. These things go up and down and they fluctuate. It's going to be a while before they harmonize. I know that bitcoins and all this stuff is sort of a 10-year plan. This is a coin that I support. I support all cryptocurrencies because I believe in about 5 to 10 years, it'll become the norm and the main way you're going to be transferring money and all that kind of good stuff. But right now, in the year 2018, it is not a fucking viable thing, and that's because of many reasons that I'll get into. So for those of you who don't know why fucking cryptocurrencies are ruining my job and my PC gaming, is due to the fact that the price of graphic cards have seen a fucking skyrocket that I could not fucking fathom, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna go on Amazon for a second. Just a quick cursory glance as to why I've put the system on hold. This Crusher system that we're building requires a lot of graphic cards. We cluster them together for massively efficient rendering times, all that good stuff, so we can get more work done as each day goes around. More work means we all make more money. So we need this Crusher, right? It's a fucking thing that helps us keep our lights on, food on the table, all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you guys some of these GTX 1070s. Now, 1070s, if you're looking at it price-wise, is 900, almost 800 fucking dollars for this card. When this card launched, I believe it was priced at around 400 US. It has seen a fucking almost 100% increase in price for a fucking 1070. This is the same price I paid for a GTX 1080, motherfucker. A 1080 Ti. I got an open box, all that good stuff, before this thing blew up. Graphic cards right now are priced so fucking high that you cannot buy one logically for yourself. It does not make any sense, ladies and gentlemen. None of this is breaking out in any way, shape, or form. There are cards such as a GTX 1070, GDDR5, all that good stuff, 8 gigs of onboard RAM for $2,625 fucking dollars from some piece of shit seller who's definitely scalping the fuck out of this card. If you go look around anywhere else in the market, all right, you can get like the gaming 8 gig ones. These even go for like 2 grand. 2 grand for a GTX 1070 doesn't fucking make any sense. And this isn't just Nvidia that's sort of been affected by this too. You can go all the way down to like, a 1060, and even that is priced abnormally fucking higher than it's supposed to be. Almost half of $1,000 put towards a GTX 1060, which is an entry-level graphic card. A 1080 is pretty much left away from it because it's always been a pretty expensive card as of itself. 1,200, it's still too fucking high for a 1080. Considering it's not even a 1080 Ti. Go all the way down to a 1050, which is like entry-level shit. That's been pretty market. That hasn't actually changed a bit. So the actual cards that you want to get for gaming purposes and even for video editing purposes are all but fucking chewed out. People have fucking went out of their way and they've gotten out and definitely taken all these cards for cryptocurrency mining. One of the cards that I wanted to sort of get for the business too, one of the ones that we were looking at the time was these Radeon Vegas, which isn't sort of the ideal thing you probably want either, but it's a pretty decent card for the price that you get it at. Ladies and gentlemen, it has went up to the point where you can get a new graphic card from some random company for about $2,479. This card is not worth that much money, ladies and gentlemen. It is not worth that fucking cost that they're charging for it. This is a card that has been priced so fucking high that buying it at this price is making you lose money. Now, for the price of some of these graphic cards, I've went out of my way and looked at CyberPower PC, which is one of the places that I personally support. I bought a couple PCs off these people for a pretty decent price. One of the gaming PCs that you can end up actually getting, a pre-built, which comes with 1070s, some of them 1060s, all that kind of stuff, for about $1,600, $1,700, $2,000 for like the top-of-the-line GTX 1080s, which is fucking infinitely better than buying these things outright on your own. The day of building your own systems is fucking dying right now because these cryptocurrency miners have taken all the good shit from us. Okay, and if I sound passionate about this, I fucking am. It's cheaper to buy these pre-built systems. So this is why I'm not really complaining about the gaming side of it. In fact, if you want a fucking game, motherfucker, you might as well just buy a PS4, Xbox, or whatever the fuck you wanted, a Nintendo Switch, because that is a more fucking viable way to game right now, ladies and gentlemen, than just going out of your way for this bullshit. Because right now, cryptocurrency miners have fucked things up entirely for all of us. Now, why has the cryptocurrency market sort of taken over? The reason why cryptocurrency markets are taken over is because everyone and their grandmother have put $50,000. I know 4 people in my life that have put 50 grand, roughly, into buying a bunch of graphic cards, clustering them together to make money. It is not viable to make money, especially over here in North America. Electricity fees are still high to the point that if you try to mine, the amount of power you're consuming costs more than making the fucking money to mine these systems in the first place. You spend $50,000 on a fucking set of graphic cards, you ain't making your money back in like 6 months like some of these people are telling you. It's all over Facebook and Twitter, all this kind of stuff. I've seen a lot of these upstart pool companies sort of come in, these individuals who are basically telling people to put their fucking life savings into cryptocurrencies, to the point where they can go out of their way and make millions of dollars fucking almost overnight, okay? Sounds like a great deal. Everyone wants to make money real quickly. Let me give you Muda's fucking tip of the week, tip of a lifetime. Money does not come easily, motherfucker. You gotta work for it, okay? There's no get-rich-quick scheme. Anybody that advertises that shit to you is fucking making money off you, okay? They're making money off your gullibility. Don't fall for it. So let me tell you how mining Bitcoin works, ladies and gentlemen. To mine Bitcoins, you need to have a bunch of fucking processing power anyways. Call it a hash rate, call it raw power, call it fucking, pixie dust for all I care. Let's assume you have a lot of pixie dust, all right? Millions of graphic cards sitting around. Let's assume you have 90 points of pixie dust, all right? The way Bitcoin mining works is in order for the transactions to take place, they work on what we call a blockchain. A blockchain is all the transactions of Bitcoin going from day one all the way to now. So when you transfer like 10, 20 Bitcoins, it needs to basically be mined, I guess you could say, by all the miners out there. Now, the problem why there's such a high amount of processing fees to Bitcoin is because the mining has happened lesser and lesser. There are less people mining actively because it's just not cost efficient, ladies and gentlemen. It's not at all. All right, a lot of legitimate miners who are into this have left out of it because they're not making the cash out of it anymore. So what a lot of people do is they make what we call a mining pool, a cluster, a fucking Ponzi scheme, so to speak. There's been plenty of these Ponzi schemes that have kicked up. Some of them are legit though, but basically the idea is you create a pool. You got 100 people that pour all their fucking pixie dust into one pool. Now, this pool uses all the combined pixie dust to solve these Bitcoin algorithms, these Bitcoin equations that get harder and harder as more Bitcoin needs to be mined, more of it is in the transaction, more of it is in the ledger. So realistically, once something has been solved, this pool, this pixie dust fucking pool, gets bitcoins, and these bitcoins, the pixie pool, the pixie dust pool owner, the guy who owns the pool, guy or gal, divvies it up between everyone. Now, of course, this can be equal, this can be random. That's all up to the fucking pool. Sometimes it isn't even told to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, this is how Bitcoin mining effectively works. If that's all you needed to know, if that's how you fucking learn, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, okay? The more you fucking know. The point is, with all the grandmothers and all the people who have put $50,000 to $100,000, their fucking life savings into this fucking bullshit, have basically reached a point where they've caused shortages for people who need it. People like me, people who need graphic cards to basically keep their fucking lights on, people who buy computers upgraded, all that kind of stuff. The job field that I need requires this. Gamers who want to game require this kind of shit. Now they have to pay up the ass to get a graphic card that initially is like 10 times less than what some people here are fucking charging, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of the manufacturers don't really support this either, Nvidia and AMD as far as I know, but it still happens. It's a fucking shortage that's a global problem. Is there any fix to this? Well, because of the dropping values of Bitcoins and the actual increased regulations towards it from the United States and many other countries, it's actually reached a point where the bubble might fucking burst at some point, and all the graphic cards these people have bought will have to be sold for about half fucking price. They're going to be selling these graphic cards off to make some kind of a fucking return on the giant loss that a lot of these Bitcoin miners are sort of getting through right now. To an extent, I sort of hope they get that way, shape, or form, because a lot of people are falling for this Ponzi bullshit pyramid scheme from some of these individuals themselves. If I sound heated about this, it's because I, of course, really am. If I've been all over the place, it's because there's a lot of shit that really fucking irks me about this kind of stuff nowadays. But regardless, for those of you who are mining Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that kind of stuff, mining can be a profitable venture. You need to mine alternate coins and trade them around here and there. But at that point, if you have $50,000 sitting in your life savings, invest it towards a more viable business path, ladies and gentlemen. Millions of them exist. I sit down, I make my money, and I do a little bit of I do a lot of investing on the side, and I'll tell you this much fucking right now, there's a lot more profitable ventures to be made than just Bitcoin mining, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just have a little time to rant about fucking Bitcoin literally taking away my fucking job. All right, not really, okay? I'm going to be fine. The lights are still going to be on. We're going to find a way to build this fucking crusher system. And maybe, just maybe, I might actually make a little video on it for you guys later on, if you all are interested in all that nerdy shit that I do out of this kind of stuff. Trust me, it will be fucking nerdy. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed my little fucking rant time, my little triggered ranting phase. Discussing about this cryptocurrency crap that is actively destroying some of the gaming markets that I choose to put myself into. The video editing market, I guess you could say. The computer fucking purchasing market, motherfucker. Make graphic card prices normal, okay? Make this shit fun to buy again. Make this shit not a goddamn I should not have to take a second mortgage out to play fucking games in maximum settings, motherfucker. It shouldn't be that way, alright? God damn it. I know this is a first world problem, but god damn it, I'm still going to be harping on it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have an amazing, amazing Friday. I hope you really do. This is me, Mutahar, and I actually have to be getting to work. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.